Hello. Hello. Welcome to a tour of the materials for IS 3020 or HMI 7540. Courses focusing on application development with Python. We're going to take a look at the various tools that you can use in this class and will use, and show you how they look and where you might get them and how they work. Let's get started. So first you might notice, for example, here's an example of one section of the undergraduate course I'm teaching. You'll see I sent out a welcome that says you can go ahead and get started by installing Python on your machine. On the left, I've got the required materials and resources description section in the syllabus showing, and you can see there are quite a few different things here. Let's just walk through them so that you can see what all they do. And I want to do them in this order, so we're going to start with Visual Studio Code. This is actually the new programming software that Microsoft is creating. And I can go to the link here in the syllabus, and if I click on it, I'll see that I can download it and that it is available for Mac, Windows, and Linux. So and others actually, but I can get it for a wide variety of different systems, and it will actually allow me, as you can see above, to program in a variety of different languages, not the least of which is Python, important to us. Now, I've already installed VS Code. I would just download it and run the installer here. And when I install it, I'm going to do a little bit of configuration as well. So let's go ahead and open it up. There it is. And when I open it up, I actually want to add some extensions. So the first thing is I need Python, since we're going to be doing some work with Python. So I'll go ahead and run that. And then there are a couple of optional extensions that make life easier. You don't have to have them, but they do make life easier. So let's go ahead and get the Python extensions packet. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and install that. And this gives me a bunch of code syntax highlighting and testing, and that makes life easier. It will help me find errors. And finally, I want to get one called Code Runner, which is going to make it easy for me to actually run my code directly in the place where I am installing it. So I'll just let those go. It looks like they are now there. Now I'll go ahead and close that. And let's reload to activate. Okay. And they're all in there. I'm going to click back over here. Looks like I have to put in an update here. So on my computer, that turns out I have to use my administrator account to do that. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and create myself a code folder. I encourage you to set some sort of folder where you'll keep all of your code for the semester in one place just to keep organized. And I'll create a new file just to test things out. And my file, I'm going to go ahead and save it as python test.py. Let's go ahead and save that. Okay. Now, because I saved it as a .py file, it recognizes that I need Python, and it is loading the Python extension right now. I'm going to go ahead and click on a couple of things while it's at it. There we go. And let's see if I can go ahead and select here. It asked me to select a Python interpreter. At this point, if you don't see a Python interpreter, that means you have to actually install Python on your computer. So while that's going, let's take a look over here. And if I come to python.org, okay, I will see that there's a downloads button, and I can download Python for Windows, Mac OS X, and it is available on Linux and other platforms as well. So that you would have to do if you don't see any interpreter available. Some computers may already have the interpreter. And I can go ahead and test Python by typing a simple statement. Notice the IntelliCode is actually showing me, it'll show me help files about how to use different functions. As I type them, I'll get error correction and syntax highlighting. Syntax highlighting recognizes whether something is a function or a variable or just a string of text and highlights it differently so that my eyes can quickly pick up different elements and tell if I made a mistake. So I'm going to type hello world, and I'm going to go ahead and save that. I'm going to come over to my file, and I'm going to run my Python file in the terminal, and sure enough, here we can see it ran my file and the output was hello world. So in fact, I have Visual Studio Code working, and I have Python 3.7 working. And you'll notice here Python is 3.7.0. If I go back to the downloads and I download 3.7.1, that's actually going to be the new option here. So let's go ahead and do that and see it happen. The nice thing about Visual Studio Code is it will automatically detect the available versions of Python on the computer. And if I go ahead and run this one, there we go, and continue and agree, okay, and install. And once again, I have to put in an administrator password. And as it installs, I can do a little cleaning up here. There are tutorials also on how to get started here with Python. So in case you're wondering, you can see that here. On Windows, you want to make sure that Python is in your path. So if you need any additional help, you can check there and you'll see it. Okay, now I've got Python once again. Here's Python. It's working and it's 3.7.1. This is the actual Python shell where I can type the same kinds of things. I can type print hello world. This is called the interactive shell. And if I run that, it'll actually show me the result. I could also create a new file and save the code there and then run it. So I can come over here, make a new file. This would allow me to write a bunch of code and then run it. So I can write the same thing and save it. And we'll call this hello world test.py. Actually, it's going to automatically put the .py on there. And I want it in my code folder. So we'll just save it over there. And now you'll notice I have a run option, and I can run the module, and it will run it over here in the interpreter, the shell. And there it is. So it's working. So let's go ahead and close that. And I'm going to come back to Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to close Visual Studio Code. When I click on this bottom left corner, it shows me all the versions of Python that Visual Studio Code sees on my system. Okay, I'll go ahead and clean that up. Now I'm going to hit Command Space, which will allow me to just type in what I want. I want Visual Studio Code, and here it is. Let's close that, and there I am. And now you'll notice that Python 3.7.1 is available, and it's in this location. And Visual Studio Code automatically recognizes that it's there. So this tool is actually a very helpful tool. It gives you some different kinds of insight and capabilities versus just the straight programming environment provided with Python, which is called idle. Okay, let's go back to our list. Let's take a look at Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft Teams, you'll see there's a link down here in the syllabus. And when you click on it, it's going to ask you to sign in with your account, your Office 365 account from Kennesaw. So I'm going to type in mine. Okay. And then it will take me to the Kennesaw sign-in page. And it will ask for me to verify the login with our two-factor authentication, which I've just done on my phone. And I'll go ahead and sign in. And this is Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft Teams is very much similar to using GroupMe or WhatsApp or Slack, but it is the official collaboration tool for Teams, not only at Microsoft, but also at Kennesaw. So this is an officially supported tool provided through Office 365, where we can post questions and answers that we have regarding any challenges we run into during the semester. And it, better than a tool like GroupMe, it actually allows us to set different channels and have bots that can help us. I don't know how far we'll get with those additional capabilities, but at a minimum, it is a tool that I want you to be aware of and to use, because we can communicate using this tool. All right, and so I can go ahead. Now, I've already actually installed this tool on this machine, so I don't know if it's going to get a little bit surprised. Maybe not. Okay. And now I can open it up, and it's going to prompt me to type my credentials again. Okay. There is an app for Android and an app for iOS, for iPhones, so that you can make this very convenient. You'll notice I have pre-structured our class spaces so that we have it by topics. We're going to be doing some courses that follow this structure on the left. So if you have a question about the basics section of a course, this is where you post it. If you have an answer to someone's question, that's where you post it, and so forth. You can post pictures or videos, anything. And as we learn more about the tool, as I learn more about the tool, we may do additional things with it. We can actually run meetings in this tool as well. So there's a lot of interesting capabilities that we can do in this tool. Most importantly, it's a place to post questions and get answers regarding coding as you run into them. All right, so now where is our main tutorial on Python? We're following a curriculum that is in edX, and edX is a tool run by a consortium of universities. And you'll see here that our course starts in 2018. You would register and use your school account, the kennesaw.edu account. You will audit the course, and you don't have to pay for the course because the auditing is free. In my case, I actually already have an account, so if I sign in, so let's go ahead, use my all right. Okay. And I can audit this course. And so if I do that, it will be added to my learnings and you'll notice upgrade to verified. If you pay an extra $100, you can upgrade to verified, and it allows you to earn a certificate for each class that you complete with a passing grade in their system. And then this is where we'll have tutorials. Now within the edX platform and the Microsoft channel, we're following their beginning computer science curriculum. You'll see that in the syllabus down here where there's a colorful curriculum model. And I'm not sure if you can see that, but here it shows Intro to Python Absolute Beginner and then Intro to Python Fundamentals. And this is the first part of their beginning software developer program at Microsoft. So we're following their official courses because we can, and it gives you some credibility. Plus, 50 to 70,000 people take these courses every quarter, and they've been well tested and have good support and videos that we can use to learn and to then be successful. And you'll see the very first thing in here is starting Jupyter Notebooks. Now I want you to pay attention and go through these welcome sections because they really help you. Using Jupyter Notebooks, project files download is an important one. That's where you get the actual files. The files can be run in another tool called Anaconda Navigator. If you go back in the required materials list, you'll see that there's an optional Anaconda Navigator development tool that runs Jupyter Notebooks. Jupyter is actually a Python environment, and it shows you in here that in order to use this course, you're going to be needing to create your account over here. So if I click on this link to get to notebooks.azure.com, that's where I have the files for this class. Now I'm going to need to create myself an account, and I can go ahead and use my existing account. And what I'll do is see how it says Eric Projects Dev 236X and so forth? That means that I'm in his account right here. I want these files in my account so I can use them. So I'm going to click Clone, and I'm going to say SB 2019, and I'll go ahead and clone them. And what's happening is it's making a copy. Notice this, now it has changed the URL. It's made a copy of these in my account. And I can then run these files in a web browser. So I could do this on any kind of tool, including my phone. And when I click on one of them, this is the module 1, I'll see my name up in the URL from my account. And what's happening is I can now see the videos, and I have these cells like this where I can run code. I can click Run, and look, it showed me the output. And just to test that, I can go ahead and put my name in there, and I can click Run again. And there you go. It's working. So now I've got my Azure account. Let's go back over to our list here. I have my Azure account, I have my Microsoft edX account, my Teams account, Visual Studio Code. I've installed the Python idle. python&anywhere.com is pretty self-explanatory. Anaconda Navigator is a helpful tool that allows you to run the Jupyter Notebooks on your own machine without a network account. The only thing we haven't really looked at yet is the GitHub account. We will look at that later in the semester, but that's pretty straightforward. That's just going to github.com and setting up an account using your Kennesaw email address as a student. And that will allow you to have an education account, which is a somewhat unlimited account. And as for Anaconda, it's over here. You can download Anaconda Navigator. It is an open source tool available for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. It includes a version of Python that is more robust than the simple one. So if I go over here and open Anaconda Navigator, hopefully we will see all of that in action. I've already downloaded it and installed it. There we go. Thanks for installing. And you'll notice I have Jupyter Notebooks here. I can launch Jupyter Notebooks, and it will open it in a browser. And if I had downloaded the files from the course on Azure, so let's go back to, let me see if I can find it. Where was I? Here I am. Here I am. And let's go forward a topic here. Project files download. Notice I can download these. I'm going to go ahead and click on that button. And I'm going to take this and move it to documents. And then from documents to code, because I want all my code in one place. I'm going to go back to my Jupyter Notebook, which is running over here. And I want to open up documents and code. And then I open up this course. And I'm going to click and look at this. So now I have the same window that I was looking at in the browser on the Microsoft Azure cloud a minute ago. So see this? Notice the URL. I'm on azure.com. That's Microsoft's cloud. Whereas this one's on localhost. This one is running on my machine. So there it is. It's my local file. I don't have to have a network connection. And if I come down here and click run, sure enough, it runs the code, shows me the output, allows me to follow along. If I make a change and hit run, it works again. So voila. And of course, notice they've got some shortcuts. So do go through the intros, watch the videos. The videos are also on edX. And then do the self-check questions in edX and turn in the code, and you're all set. That makes you ready to go with this course. Thanks for watching.